Hi folks, RSBN founder and CEO Joe Steele here. Did you know there is nearly $1 trillion of infrastructure and pandemic funds yet to be spent? That's right, there's a massive amount of money that the lame duck administration is pushing hard to spend in their last few months. If the president is able to push these funds out, we could see another prolonged inflation surge, just like during COVID. And I'm sure you remember the terrible effects that high prices had on most Americans. But there's hope. A surge in prices can be beaten. A gold IRA from Birch Gold Group is the ultimate inflation hedge for your savings in uncertain times. To see how to protect your IRA or 401k, get your free info kit on gold by texting the word Trump to 989898. Birch Gold makes it seamless to roll over your retirement account while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait for the president's spending spree to tank the dollar further. Protect your financial future now. Text Trump to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for this RSBN Economic Report. I'm Matthew Alvarez. This report brought to you by Birch Gold Group. As you just saw, all you have to do is text Trump to 989898 for more information on gold, silver, precious metals. It's your hedge against inflation. We're going to dive in more into Birch Gold Group in just a bit, but there's a lot of economic news going on around the country and also indirectly around the world when it comes to this past Monday, where President Trump had a press conference where the SoftBank CEO of Japan invested $100 billion into the United States economy. And then President Trump, on the fly there, negotiated for more money. So we're going to show you that here in just a second. But the country will get about 100,000 more jobs because of this great deal by President Trump. Let's actually take a look at that exchange from this past Monday.
Welcome one of the most accomplished business leaders of our time, the founder and CEO of SoftBank, everybody knows, Masa Yoshi-san. Masa runs one of the largest companies in Japan and among the most successful investment and technology companies anywhere in the world, one of the most successful investors in the world. And we've just concluded a very productive meeting, and today I'm thrilled to announce that SoftBank will be investing $100 billion in America, creating 100,000 American jobs at a minimum. And he's doing this because he feels very optimistic about our country since the election. And many other people are also coming in with tremendous amounts of money. You probably noticed that a poll was just taken. It's business is literally in 39 years, there's been nothing like it. It's been the biggest increase. Small business owners gave it a 41% jump. It's the biggest jump that we've had in 39 years. Nobody's ever seen anything like it, and it's just they're very optimistic. This historic investment is a monumental demonstration of confidence in America's future, and it will help ensure that artificial intelligence, emerging technologies, and other industries of tomorrow are built, created, and grown right here in the USA. One of the beautiful things about Masa is he's very much involved with emerging technology. He probably knows it maybe better than almost anybody. So it's a great honor, and some of you remember after the 2016 election, also SoftBank committed to invest $50 billion in our country, and they did. And I'm very pleased to say that they kept that promise in every way, shape, and form, and now they're looking to do 100, and I've looked at their books. They do have the possibility of doing more. I'm going to ask them to do a little bit more, but first I'm going to ask him to speak and just to say a few words. Masa, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited. I would really like to celebrate the great victory of President Trump. And my confidence level to the economy of the United States has tremendously increased with his victory. So because of that, I'm now excited to commit this $100 billion and 100,000 jobs into the United States. This is double of last time, as President Trump said. Because I say, oh, President Trump is a double down president. I'm going to have to double down, $100 billion and 100,000 jobs. This is, my confidence level, because that has doubled down. So I am truly excited to make this happen.
Okay, so that was from this past Monday, a bit of economic news there, as this again is the Birch Gold Economic Report right here on Right Side Broadcasting Network. Now, placing your hard-earned money into a wise investment is the name of the financial game, of course. You can do that with Birch Gold Group. All you do is text Trump to 989898 for more information on gold, silver, and precious metals. We're talking tax-sheltered IRAs, 401ks. We know increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, regulation changes. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. So Birch Gold is a trusted gold company by many. You can see that throughout a lot of conservative media as well. They're releasing their ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. This is a forward that is written by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text Trump and the number 989898. So here are the facts. The national debt obviously continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. So gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. So Birch Gold will help you convert that existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. So you see that information there on your screen. Text Trump to 989898 for more information. The A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, along with countless 5-star reviews and thousands of happy customers. You can also trust Birch Gold Group right there by texting Trump to 989898 for more information on Birch Gold. Speaking of Birch Gold Group, I recently sat down with the great Phillip of Birch Gold Group to explain some current situations when it comes to our economy and our financial situation, and also outside of that, also how gold and silver are faring in this financial market. Is Phillip Patrick with Birch Gold Group. Thank you again for joining us here on the show.
Thank you for having me, Matthew.
Definitely. Let's start with tariffs. We saw during various President Trump's speeches, he talked about tariffs being the most beautiful word in the dictionary. He loves the word. Help us understand why he's so focused on tariffs.
It's a good question. Look, at the end of the day, we've got a spending problem. We have a deficit problem at the moment. And the government obviously needs revenue, and tariffs bring in cash. It's that simple. On top of that, they offer protection to domestic industries. They make them more competitive. And the reality is the economy now needs rejuvenation. We need new job creation. We need to reshore manufacturing and industry. Over the longer term, we need to create a wealthy economy and revert to economic nationalism, if you will.
So on the other side of the coin there, no pun intended, are there's some downsides to tariffs too? I mean, just last week, the Premier of Ontario threatened to cut energy exports to the U.S. if President Trump moved forward with tariffs on Canadian imports. So it's a back and forth, I guess, a little bit.
It is, and retaliation is often what we see with tariffs. On the heels of Biden's restriction of exports of semiconductor manufacturing equipment to China, the Chinese ended exports of strategically important minerals for things like semiconductors and military equipment. So they are retaliatory in nature for sure. As you mentioned, the Ontario Premier Doug Ford just threatened to end energy exports to the United States. So we tend to see this tit-for-tat dynamic. Those are the geopolitical downsides. Obviously, longer term, they address a trade imbalance, but they'll create volatility shorter term.
Definitely. Let's shift over to the cost of living right now. The latest inflation report was a bit of a mixed bag. Can you break it down for us a little bit?
Yeah, of course. CPI is stagnating. We saw core CPI tick up. And I think it's a sign that we're still seeing the ripple effects of Bidenomics and the $8 trillion of deficit spending over the last 4 years working its way through the economy. What we could be seeing with an uptick in inflation is a second wave, similar to what we saw in the 1970s.
Well, can you tell us about that? What's that parallel look like from the 70s to now then?
It's quite simple. What happened was it was a surge of inflation. Initially kicked off when Nixon abandoned the gold standard. The Fed, just like today, they tried to manage inflation by raising interest rates. When we started to see inflation trend down, just like today, they lowered rates. Then we had a trade war. Back in the 70s, it was over energy shortages, it was an energy crisis. The Fed lowered rates to stimulate economic growth, and inflation sparked again over 12%. They tried one more time, they hiked rates, and we saw another spike as they eased off again. So it took Paul Volcker coming in the early 80s to put interest rates to 20% to finally stamp out inflation. But I think the primary lesson learned, in my mind, we should never declare mission accomplished on inflation until the Fed keep it below that 2% target for a while. Declaring job done too soon is very dangerous, and my concern is the Fed are doing that again today.
Okay, one more question about that decade, the 70s. What was it like for gold during that 15-year span of time?
Yeah, it's a great question. You know, that was a very tough period. We were dealing with stagflation, the markets, housing were getting hit for a decade. Gold grew sevenfold, 744% actually in that 15-year period. So we're seeing very similar things again today. And I think any student of history will understand how to get through times like this.
All right, Phillip Patrick with Birch Gold Group. Thanks so much for joining us for this RSBN Economic Report. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you. All right, so Phillip Patrick there with Birch Gold Group. Thank you so much for joining us live here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. It's 12:51 Eastern Time on this Thursday as we get ready for Christmas and Hanukkah and other celebrations. And also on top of that, New Year's Eve on its way down the pike. And then, of course, President Trump getting inaugurated on January 20th, 2025. Let's dive into the Trump administration's plan to make the economy great again. Chapter 3 within his platform stance in the sense of policy, out of those 20 core promises, there's more information on donaldjtrump.com on what he wants to do and what he will do for the economy. So building the greatest economy in history, he'll do that through a number of ways. Of course, he will appoint a number of people that he's already appointed in the cabinet and also administrative appointments that have a very sharp mind when it comes to money and business. We know President Trump already has that, but we have to have as many as we can to have a great team moving forward on a united front. So the one way that the Trump team will do that in the second administration will be through cutting regulations. Republicans will slash regulations that stifle jobs, freedom, innovation, and that make everything more expensive. So the Trump team will implement transparency and common sense in rulemaking. They'll also make Trump tax cuts permanent, along with no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security benefits. He'll have fair and reciprocal trade deals, reliable and abundant low-cost energy, and champion innovation. So those are just 5 steps right there. If you want to see more information on that, you can do that on donaldjtrump.com. Click on the top right part of the website there. It says platform. You can click on that. You'll see the 20 core promises. It involves everything from the economy to border protection, to safety, law and order, our freedoms in this country. It's that full 20 core promises. But at the bottom is, if you want to look at more information about the platform. So specifically, that's where I'm reading from right here, where chapter 3 has to do with the economy. I do want to read the commitment there by President Trump and the team for the economy before we wrap up this show. Of course, brought to you by Birch Gold Group. The commitment reads as follows. American workers are the most productive, talented, and innovative on earth. The only thing holding them back is the suffocating policies of the Democrat Party. Our America First economic agenda rests on 5 pillars: slashing regulations, cutting taxes, securing fair trade deals, ensuring reliable and abundant low-cost energy, and championing innovation. Together, we will restore economic prosperity and opportunity for all of America. So that information right there from donaldjtrump.com. As we thank you so much for joining us here on this Birch Gold Economic Report, all you have to do is text Trump to 989898 for more information on Birch Gold. You'll get a free info kit on gold, silver, precious metals, but also on top of that, this is all about those 401ks and tax-sheltered IRAs. If you don't know any of that whole space, they'll help you out. All you have to do is text Trump to 989898 for more information. So when you have those increased tariffs on our trade partners and tax cuts and regulation changes, you can learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. It's a trusted gold company by many people. It also has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of happy customers. So again, you start the process by texting Trump to 989898. So before we close this show, just want to share a few facts with you about Birch Gold. As you know, the national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase, but gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold will help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold. So all of that information right there in a free info kit. Text Trump to 989898. I've texted that to that number before. I wanted to see what kind of process this would be. I'm not going to talk about it and share it with you without trying it myself. So I tried it there, and it's a very simple process. You'll get that info kit, whether it's in the mail, whether it's one that's digital, sent to your text message. And then also you can line up a phone call with the great people at Birch Gold Group. They're not pushy at all, very professional, because it's a very big time business, right? It's a very big, great thing to do to diversify and to also have a hedge against that inflation. You know, those BRICS nations out there, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and others, they're trying to use their own currency instead of the US dollar, so that will weaken the dollar. So we're hoping for Maganomics to turn a lot of things around, hopefully everything around when it comes to the economy. But at the end of the day, whether it's Bidenomics or Maganomics, having gold, silver, and precious metals as a backup plan, always a smart idea. So just text Trump to 989898 to get that ball rolling. I'm Matthew Alvarez here at Right Side Broadcasting Network. Thank you so much for joining us for this Birch Gold and RSBN Economic Report. We will see you after the first of the year on January 9th for our next episode. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, and also 2025, believing for the continuation of the golden age, which President Trump just said the other day, has already started. I'm Matthew Alvarez. We'll see you later.
Hi folks, RSBN founder and CEO Joe Steele here. Did you know there is nearly $1 trillion of infrastructure and pandemic funds yet to be spent? That's right, there's a massive amount of money that the lame duck administration is pushing hard to spend in their last few months. If the president is able to push these funds out, we could see another prolonged inflation surge, just like during COVID. And I'm sure you remember the terrible effects that high prices had on most Americans. But there's hope. A surge in prices can be beaten. A gold IRA from Birch Gold Group is the ultimate inflation hedge for your savings in uncertain times. To see how to protect your IRA or 401k, get your free info kit on gold by texting the word Trump to 989898. Birch Gold makes it seamless to roll over your retirement account while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait for the president's spending spree to tank the dollar further. Protect your financial future now. Text Trump to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold.